Because I Could Not Stop for Death, poem, written by Emily Dickinson. This poem was first published only after the author's death in 1819. The poem remains one of the most haunting and thoughtful meditations on mortality in American poetry. In a tone that is both calm and airy, Dickinson makes the abstract proposition of death into a gentleman caller who carries the speaker away in a carriage toward eternity. In this video, we will explore the themes, symbolism, structure, historical context, and the interpretations of this classic, and examine why it continues to be so powerful over 100 years after its composition. Summary of the poem. The poem starts with a well-known line, "Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me." This tends to portray death as both polite and unavoidable. Life is too busy for the speaker to stop for death, but death, so polite and inevitable, takes the initiative. With death in the carriage is immortality, implying a trip beyond the physical sphere. As they ride through various scenes, a schoolyard, grain fields, and a certain scene, Dickinson offers up these as the stages of life. The trip concludes at home, that is failed grave, with the realization that the drive has long gone on centuries, but feels shorter than the day. Instead, time is not relevant to death, and the journey eternal. Key themes. Number 1. Death as a gentle companion. Dickinson's depiction of death is not a conventional one. Instead of treating death as something nasty and scary, he anthropomorphizes it into an earnest, gentlemanly fellow. This humanization allows the topic of death to feel less daunting. The idea of being guided to the afterlife by a helpful figure diffuses the fear usually surrounding dying. Number 2. Immortality and the afterlife. The way immortality rides along in the carriage suggests that mortal immortality is not limited to dying, but also includes what happens after. While Dickinson does not specify what exactly awaits us in the afterlife, the presence of this figure suggests life continues after the corporeal form dies. Number 3. The passage of time. The treatment of time is one of the deepest aspects of the poem. As the speaker flows in and out of life and death, time is so flexible that it becomes nearly meaningless. The line, "Since then," is centuries, and yet feels shorter than the day, emphasizes that after one's death, the perception of time changes drastically, if not vanishes altogether. Number 4. Life as a journey. The images shown during the carriage ride, children playing, fields of grain, the setting sun, stand for various stages of life: youth, maturity, and old age. These portrayals remind readers that life is a process, a journey, and a final destination that is unavoidable. Death, Dickinson implies that we pass through stages in life, we also pass into death. Poetic structure and language. The poem is arranged in 6 quatrains, in a meter similar to common meter, a pattern commonly seen in hymns. This lends a musical or nursery rhyme quality, which stands in stark contrast to the serious subject of death. This juxtaposition adds to the creepy serenity of the poem. Dickinson uses dashes a lot, and dashes do a lot of different things. They create pauses, they create ambiguities, they create an approximation of natural speech. The unorthodox punctuation and capitalization are signatures of her distinctive style. Symbolism. Number 1. The carriage. The carriage signifies the means by which the speaker moves from life into death. It's not a hearse, which would customarily transport the dead, but a more agnostic, quasi-romantic conveyance, suggesting a gentle passage. Schools, grain fields, and setting sun. Each of these signifies a stage of life. It shows a schoolyard where children are playing, representing childhood and innocence, not to mention the grain fields, signifying adulthood and productivity, and the setting sun, which represents old age and death. Number 2. The house. The house at which they arrive by journey's end is a metaphor for the grave. Its swelling of the ground and part of the roof that is visible suggests a burial site, but the tone is not morbid, but rather subdued and matter of fact. Historical and biographical background. In the 19th century, Poet lived in Amherst, a recluse. She produced close to 8,800 poems, almost all of which were found after her death in 1886 and published. Dickinson's poems deal largely with death, nature, and immortality. In Dickinson's time, death was more visible in daily life. The science of medicine was rudimentary, and death rates were high. Death was not something distant or abstract, it lurked around us. And given her cultural background, this was probably a big influence in how she approached the subject in an introspective and personal way. Literary devices. Some of the literary devices Dickinson uses to enhance her poem are personification. Death is portrayed as a kind gentleman. Imagery. The scenes painted in few words, such as the Jews drew quivering and chill. The use of consonant and vowel sounds in the alliterations and assonance provides a lyricism of the poem. Irony. The death of. There is a muted irony in our custom of treating death, such gentle civility. The main idea on the philosophical approach. There are multiple ways to interpret the poem. 1. Acceptance of death. The speaker's serene demeanor indicates acceptance of mortality. Number 2. Death as continuation. Death is not an end, but part of a continuum, of which this life is just one stage. Number 3. Sure shots. Life keeps us busy with its ups and downs and turns that we forget the time to go is inevitable. It's one appointment we must not miss. Some scholars claim Dickinson's work offers a quasi-religious vision. Others view it as a secular meditation on mortality. This ambiguity is part of what makes the poem so rich and open to personal interpretation. The poem, Because I Could Not Stop for Death, by Emily Dickinson, is a work of literature that has continued to touch the hearts of readers all over the world. Written in the 19th century, Because I Could Not Stop for Death is still remarkably relevant in a world that so often wanted to avoid the topic of death. Dickinson's serene, even gracious point of view provides balm. The way she presents the topic encourages readers to reflect passively in a way that she respects on their own personal existence, their own mortality, their own eternal hereafter, and what's beyond that. The poem is frequently explored in an academic context for its linguistic beauty and philosophical depth. The top quote also appears in books, songs, and pop culture, a testament to its staying power. Conclusion. Because I Could Not Stop for Death is a poem about death, but it's also a meditation on the action of living, the passage of time, and the great unknown of what lies beyond. Emily Dickinson, in her unmuted but profound way, implores us to see death not as something to be feared, but as a normal and even gentle part of life. With an exquisitely simple structure and dense, rich symbolic language, Dickinson takes us on a voyage that starts with life and ends in eternity. Whether one interprets death through a spiritual, philosophical, or literal poetic lens, the poem provides an evergreen take on the issue that gets to the heart of a human experience.